The real I am is not your body, not your mind, not your senses. Real I am is the reality behind entire universe that you experience. And the real I am has no problem, it's Satchidananda. And in that I am, you become completely immersed. Immersed term again is figurative. Just like a reflected sun becomes completely immersed in the real sun. There is no immersion, it's realization, revelation. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnana Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Tribunarahit Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha, Sthiti Prakarana. We're going towards section 46. Topic is insight into a state of enlightenment. That's the only topic Yoga Vasistha gives. Highlights Yoga Vasistha. People in this world become proud of their learning, austerity, valor, skill, birth in a respective family, fame, prosperity, and various qualities. This is what the world describes as success. Think of it. What you have learned, what show your certificate, PhD, learning. And if you have done some spiritual things, austerity, they record of your austerity, how many malas you have done, how many pilgrimage centers you have visited. Show your pictures, all those files. It looks so great to see you have done so many. Valor, what you have achieved. And if you have done nothing, just show your hereditary file. Comes from Chaturvedis, north of four Vedas. And fame. You have done something that went on viral. Even your dog worked, did hatha yoga with you. You go viral. Prosperity and various qualities. Everyone has special quality and you highlight it. That's how the world culture moves with spices. These are the spices. These are the curry powders. But only one defect with all this. Horse is perfect from tail to the but the horse is dead. You remember the old story. Merchant goes to buy a horse from a very famous seller. Went to Arabia for that. And the seller entertains the client, tells him he will show the best, etc. Then came to showed the horse, and took 1 hour describing all the wonderful qualities of the horse. And the man said, "Is there any defect?" The horse is dead. And that applies to describe all success and pleasure and power and glory. But what is the defect? You kick the bucket and everything moves away. Nothing goes with you. If you believe in your coming back, then you have to work again. So better don't believe in it. So therefore, the moral of it, do not ignore your goal of life. Don't stay fascinated by the world day by day. Allow some room to open within your heart. And that's the art of spiritual sadhana. To do japa, practice a rhythmic pattern of living your life day by day, where integration takes place, action that is turned into karma yoga. You do every duty with love, with a purpose, and with a subtle dedication to God. You are doing your work not to settle somewhere in the world as a result of karma, but work that allows the heart to become purified. Same work now becomes karma yoga. No matter what you have been doing, even if you are cooking food for yourself, all is a part of yoga, if there is a proper attitude behind it. Turning action into karma yoga is not one day's job. As you go on understanding your spiritual goal and become more sensitive to satsanga, japa, etc., gradually you do not live your life with a sense of boredom, but to live your life with a sense that whatsoever you are performing has a purpose. You are adoring God through your actions. That highlighted aspect of karma yoga. Another level now, your sentiments. Your sentiments should not go just wild, but learn to understand that what makes people, objects lovable, God indwelling in them. Ghat ghat mein hai Sai Ramata. God dwells behind everything. So when you are fascinated by an object, no harm in it. Wait, don't jump into it. Allow your mind to move up to higher level. What makes you fascinated? God within the person. So now figure out, if you could, in any relation, if you are promoting goodness, harmony, peace, discovering your divine qualities, same relationship can be just pleasing your lower self, or you can move away from lower self to higher self. That movement starts. Then your sentiments are following the path of bhakti yoga. Love of God becomes a highlight, inspiring you in all aspects of your love. If love of God is not the center, then all your love for others, I don't have any ugly word for it, is what without its vanity, ego's aberration, called moha, like mist. Likewise, will aspect of your personality. Always you wake up in the morning and you start thinking, what is your will today? What are the things you want to do? But how clear is your will depend upon how controlled your mind is. So therefore, the path of that developing healthy will is a path of Dhyana yoga, meditation. So how to train yourself with japa, meditation, reflection, whatever the many ways of handling your mind, even yoga nidra. So if you learn the art of handling your mind day by day, you are moving towards Raja Yoga. The mind makes the movement very royal. Because once mind comes under great control and profound spiritual enrichment, you can't do wrong. Your path is royal. Royal path simply means it's an old-time path, it's not today's. If you linger on the path, will be crushed. royal, royal path, no matter how you move dancing, go shaking, whichever way you go, sit every now and then. As long as you're on the royal path, you are moving towards your goal. If mind becomes the focus in day-to-day life, and you go on adding your sadhana to mental culture, mind control, then you are on a royal path. You can't go wrong. And then finally, Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga, understanding. Jnana has two aspects, intellectual. First, intellectually try to understand what is the message of the scriptures. Even that is not ordinary intellectual. You have to be under good satsanga, good guidance. Then you will have even the intellectual understanding. Otherwise, with narrow-minded understanding. Narrow-minded understanding of scriptures or yoga is a dangerous thing. Because then you develop inflated ego and you spend most time in looking down upon others. How much I have attained and how little that poor person has attained. So now, having attained intellectual knowledge of the scriptures, is called indirect knowledge. Now, how to make that theory of spirituality your practice, your experience. And once you are involved with this integral yoga, four-aspected action into karma yoga, sentimental world into bhakti yoga, will aspect of your mind into dhyana yoga, path of meditation, an understanding aspect of your personality, which is the highest. How you understand. And that's jnana yoga. All these four are operating in your life day by day. You don't have any choice. I will be karma yoga only, or I will be bhakti yoga. People are given a choice. Just like children are given the choice. You don't want to eat this one, then eat that one. But in the plate, you have all the types of things. I'm joking, but just try to understand simple way. So that's integral yoga. As you go on practicing integral yoga, you are making a big change in your personality, a profound change in your unconscious. If you study those changes, it will confuse your mind because the data is quite a lot of information. But good news is you don't have to go through all the details. It happens spontaneous. A tree doesn't have to go to a college. How to blossom. It simply stays with spontaneity. To continue with sadhana in a rhythmic manner, all these 4 points, well harmonized, you are on the right track. You are going to be led to the highest. Then you are not buying a dead horse. So, a sage, seeing the illusoriness of all this, neither covets them nor becomes proud because of them. Worldly attainments, to the world you may highlight what you have attained, etc., as long as you know in your inner level that all this is external. The real attainment, how much you have come closer to God. Ask yourself. How much do you enjoy drawing inspiration from God within? How much you are able to see God in others? That again the question you will ask only if your mind is well educated in a spiritual way. Otherwise, your question will be palabras. You will simply sit to a person. Do you love Rama? No, I love Krishna. And now starts a big discussion. The majestic sun swimming through the sky illumines the earth with a spirit of absolute detachment. Illustrations are given. See how the sun creates so much of illumination, dazzling scenes, rainbows, wonderful clouds. Painters paint one picture and then their whole life they are proud of them. The sun creates millions and millions and doesn't even know it has created. Sun creates all that with absolute detachment. Even if the earth were to be destroyed, the sun would have nothing to lose. Sun continues to shine. That sun is allegorical symbol of yourself. Yourself is not the jiva, individual soul. Individual souls are like reflected suns. Wherever there is mind, body, mind, it is a kind of a jar. The mind is like water. Through every mind, the absolute self is reflected in every mind. So, from the point of view of different minds, each mind has a special, unique type of soul. No souls mix up. Every soul follows its own karmic process. But at the same time, come to higher level. Every soul, every reflected sun, if it were to attain enlightenment, it will realize, I am the sun. No matter how limited is in the atmosphere of the jar, and no matter whatever is the state of mind, I am that. This can be at your intellectual level, this can be at your intuitional level. That you have to, all this is possible. Once you have that awareness entering your personality, now you come to another level. When you lift your head out of your jar, you see countless jars, and they also lift their heads and create relationships. So now imagine all the jars are there, and different heads come in, and each head has created a whole circle of relations. Mama jar, Papa jar, Mummy jar. What I'm leading to understand, if you now develop a spiritual insight, I am the sun, then in all those heads that are coming out from different jars, you realize the same sun. The sun that you are, I am the sun. The very same sun is in everything. There is nothing but the self. So now, therefore, in your conversations with the other parts, you maintain all your practical conversations. But the deeper awareness, I am the very depth of everyone I'm talking with. I am the Paramatma, Supreme Self. And Supreme Self is the reality in all. Why I'm elaborating it? Your attitude to the relatives, your attitude to the world undergoes a tremendous change. In your daily life, dealing with your close relatives, loving the loved ones, in that love you begin to taste the love of God. And that taste is twofold. Looking within yourself, God is your reality. Looking in others, God is the reality. Therefore, be good to yourself. Don't insult God when you are just sitting by yourself. And adore God when you are with people around you. Quickly said, but you have to understand it and digest it with patience. All this results in one who attains enlightenment or is moving towards enlightenment. Vasantavat lokahite charanta. He moves like a spring season has entered a forest. Movement to God realization is not just one person's attainment. It seems like one person's attainment, but it has its radiation. Just like a flower blossoms, seems like it is for the flower. Flower will enjoy blossoming. But then its fragrance touches countless souls. And that's the profound law of the universe. Such is the vision of the illumined sages. They are neither attached to heavenly gardens nor affected by the destruction of objects of the world. And they follow the course of their prarabdha. This point I have explained to you. Everyone lives on the basis of karma. Enlightened sages live. How long will they live? It will be their karma. But your karma has three aspects. Accumulated storehouse, called sanchit karma. Prarabdha karma, a little pinch from that accumulated storehouse, a little pinch has given birth to your present personality. And that little pinch of karma is determining how long you have to live, what will be the highlights in your life. It has brought a plot, just like a writer writes a big book. But before he goes into the details of the book, he puts down the plot. This is what you want to highlight. So you come with a plot. That's called prarabdha. Now your purushartha, in the present life, what you do, make the plot positive or negative. So you are not coming completely with closed gates. Gates are open for you. But which gates you follow, that will depend. There are 4 gates to hell, 4 gates to liberation. Now, as I was explaining prarabdha, so in the case of masses, all the 3 continue again and again. Your sanchita stays, it goes on changing a little because sanchita is also collecting more. Your prarabdha ends with one body and you are born into another. And in every birth, you create your future karmas. Karma is known as kriyaman karma or agami karma. Kriyaman means actions that are current. When you give the name agami, it is current action that will define your future, what you are going to experience in future. All the details I have given just to make you understand, in a sage, all the accumulated karmas burn up. All the karmas that will define future, the new karmas to be generated for future, they stop. You can't create karma when you do not have that illusion, I am the doer. Then only one karma that is already in progress continues until it stops, it wears off. And that's called prarabdha. And that again, from higher point of view, it is a good, something wonderful for humanity. Because if anybody attained enlightenment and vanished, no one is there to guide people. Riding in the chariot of the body, with the horses of senses well restrained by the purified mind, and driven by intuition, a sage roams like an emperor in this world of illusion. This is a typical simile given of a chariot. Your whole personality is like a chariot. Horses are the senses. And the senses are controlled, linked to your mind. Like the horses have reins. Reins are handled by the chariot driver. The chariot driver is your intellect. In the case of a sage, horses are completely tame. The reins are completely in the hands of the driver. The driver is pure intellect. And the one who is being driven is God Himself, Brahman. Soul that has come to realize I am Brahman. You can use the chariot even without complete realization. If you go on putting order in your personality, senses have to come under the control of your. First, they must work in harmony with your mind. And then mind and senses should be under the control of your intellect. And your intellect must be inspired by the divine, the master of the whole chariot. In other words, as you advance, you progress based upon how much can you bring order in your personality. And with this complete order, then the chariot driver is God Himself. And the entire chariot becomes a magic Viman, Pushpak Viman. Therefore, O Rama, adopt this spiritual vision that is devoid of pride and jealousy, and renounce the desires for perishable objects. All this is done, written very quickly, but you must realize in daily life, the message is not there that just walk out of your house, renounce everything. The message is practice integral yoga so that you go on understanding you are not dependent. Turn your life into a stream of divine worship. If you do so, you will have a revelation. The real I am is not your body, not your mind, not your senses. Real I am is the reality behind entire universe that you experience. And the real I am has no problem. It's Satchidananda. And in that I am, you become completely immersed. Immersed term again is figurative. Just like a reflected sun becomes completely immersed in the real sun. There's no immersion, it's realization, revelation. Section 46. Qualities of a sage. Yoga Vasistha had done that many times and will go on doing. Gada Parinyaya. That's, you have eaten the same cauliflower again and again, and you are going to eat it again. Is my prediction. O Rama, there is no occasion for grief when a magic show is over. So too, the loss of wealth or a dear relative in this world is nothing but the magic show of Maya. Therefore, there is no room for grief for an enlightened sage. That's the goal of your life. As long as there is a room for grief, then stay in a room with under a roof. So long you continue sadhana. That's what I am implying. The goal is just like every day when you go to sleep, all the turmoils of the day and all the clutter of your kitchen move away from your mind. Then you have lived your day nicely. If all clutter and all the turmoil move away from you forever, then you have attained the goal of life. Then you lived your life profoundly. Now, simple moral to be practiced in daily life. In daily life, you faced sometimes simple challenges, sometimes with difficult type of challenges. And challenges are always in the form of gain and loss. Things you loved so much, and suddenly you find either your mind has developed a different understanding, become disillusioned by them. You loved an ornament for a long, long time. Then someone tells it is not golden at all. It's just brass. So that type of disappointment. And then there are frustrating disappointments, loss of loved ones. And sometimes there's no physical loss, but loss in a relationship, which sometimes is worse than being separated by death. You have to figure that out. The world is filled with the stories of that type. But that's the world. No matter how you are settled in it, the nature of the world remains just the same. Therefore, if mind has grasped it in a profound way, and if you are practicing integral yoga in daily life, do not allow your mind to be completely colored because of different types of news that break constantly on the screen of your TVs. I'm joking, but the idea is all the different things that go on happening. It's perfectly normal to be shaken, but not broken. Tree must shake. If you are not shaken, then there is another trouble. You're psychologically not fit. You're not a normal person. The normal person that will become supernormal. Abnormal will not become supernormal. He has to first become normal. So, a normal person have tenderness, easily sympathizing with people, shaken by their problems, as well as rejoicing their happiness. All this is normal. Only thing is, if you do not have Godward movement, this becomes your reality, not just normal. You develop a moha, a kind of deluded vision that if certain relations remain with you, you will be happy forever. That's called moha. But the one who are trying to relate to doesn't have the same attitude. And now, therefore, is a big trouble. He should go to hell. So, moha-based relations create a lot of torture to human mind. But if you have broader understanding, you are free of these sufferings of the world process. When wealth and progeny multiply, There is no need to be elated. When they are lost, then also there is no need to be distressed. What I was explaining, you can be elated and distressed, but it should be a shaking movement. You should not be in a state of being broken. That's what sadhana allows you to develop. Sadhana should not allow you to become stiff like a rock. If it does, you are not doing normal. We are not under good guidance. Coming to the basic point, deep down distress should not develop. Whether you face adversity or prosperous situations, your Godward movement should not stop. It should continue, because both aspects, prosperity and adversity, they come and go. They are like day and night, and you need them both. Unless you like to live in the polar region. So one one should not be elated or distressed, because these external developments are only the works of Maya. Remember, all good things have developed, be happy, etc. But don't become too lost in it that this is all that I want. All happenings in this world that you experience through your mind and senses, they are like experiences in a dream, long dream. The self is ever the same, and that realization is your goal. What type of self you are? Infinite, immutable, eternal, imperishable. Allow these words. These are Sahasranam, 1,000 names of God. God is infinite. God is Achyuta, immutable. That God is Nitya, eternal. God is Abhyaya, imperishable. That God means your own very reality. I am Satchidananda. I am absolute existence, absolute consciousness, absolute bliss. First, you allow that to enter in palavras. But do not stay with palavras. Go deeper. How do you go deeper? When you listen to these types of teachings, it allows your mind to have a channel. The same word you hear, it, eternity, infinity, immortality, they become palavras, words come and go. But when you receive this teaching in proper setting and you are involved in sadhana, those words become a powerful source of inspiration and a strength. In fact, all prosperity of the world is nothing but a form of disease for the soul. Mundane prosperity. Here, prosperity refers to quantitative gain. First, you were thousands of dollars. Now you are a millionaire. Now you're working for multi-million. This whole idea is not a healthy idea. you're suffering from a disease, because you never know how much trouble you are inviting to yourself. And therefore, worldly prosperity should not make you be so elated. Does a person become elated when he knows he's suffering from cancer? I'm adding few words to it. When you have the diagnosis of a disease, then it's a different type of experience. Spiritual aspirant turns his or her attention to the diagnosis of the world disease called bhava vyadhi, the disease of the world process. The entire world process is a hospital. And every soul is working for being cured of the world process. And what's the cure? Cure implies when the soul has broken the cycle of birth and death. As long as you are subjected to birth and death, it's the disease, not ordinary disease. Birth after birth, you face countless physical problems, mental problems, and all types of problems. So it's not ordinary disease. It is that disease of the world process that needs to be cured. And if you adopt the right path, it is a simple movement. While worldly prosperity induces raga or attachment in the mind of the ignorant, it creates dispassion in the mind of a sage. Now figure out. You become prosperous. If you don't have a spiritual aspiration, then you want to be more prosperous. And to add to your prosperity, you want to go viral, popular. Get on, get order, get honest. That's the mantra masses follow. First, don't worry about any ethical principles. Hook or by crook, get on. And when you are recognized, you are great, get honor. And finally, let people say you are the most honorable person in the world. In the case of a saintly person, for a sadhaka, prosperity becomes a means of enhancing your sadhana. How does that means? Take it from many levels. Basic point, that it allows you to serve humanity. Same wealth that can make your mind inflated. To saintly person, wealth is something to be utilized. It's God's blessing. Through that, you can help relieve troubles in others, promote spiritual knowledge, everything that you need, wealth resource is needed. So utilize your wealth in Jnana Yajna and many things. Can do wondrous things for humanity through the same wealth. And how that this happens, the attitude towards wealth to a sage doesn't belong. It doesn't depend upon wealth. More wealth, more charity. More charity, more dispatch. Figure that out. O Rama, do not linger over objects that have perished. Human mind continues with problems you faced before, even the memories of people who had been in touch with, and now they are gone. And all this haunts human mind in a strange way. That needs to be corrected, because thereby you gain nothing. You are simply making your present life miserable. You are holding a load on your head which consists 90% garbage. Hide the garage. Fill up the garbage and move on. But all that requires spiritual strength. So do not imply what I'm implying. Do not lose any opportunity of satsanga. Do not lose any opportunity for your prayer, for your japa, and for spiritual involvement, because it is that which will give you the ability not to hold all the worries and anxieties that have no meaning for you, but rather a simple, joyous, you are being led by God. Upadrashtanumantacha. God is watching over it. God is urging you to do the right thing. God is enfolding you in such a way that you are not aware of yourself. God is the one that does everything. All end up with God, Brahman. Being desireless towards the objects that have not been attained, detached from objects that have been attained, a sage roams in the boundless expansion of the self. His intellect is never trapped in the marshy lands of illusion. And that's the healthy symptom of a healthy state of the soul. And with this we'll conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.